haunted houses? Well, personally, I feel that every town, every self-respecting town, should have a haunted house. And Millsburg, I'm happy to report, has one. That's it across the street there. You doubt it? Well, I want you to look at it carefully. Concentrate on the window of that upper room. If you stare at it and let your imagination work, you will almost swear that you can see a ghost or an apparition of some kind. See anything? It's amazing what the imagination can do. Or, is it imagination? At any rate, I was introduced to this particular haunted house a few nights ago when young Arnie Logan and I were coming along this street on our way home from a high school basketball game.
Hey, they're the guys. Watching for the ghost. Come on. See anything, guys?
Boy, did we. I bet you there's 4 or 5 ghosts charging around up there tonight.
Yeah? Hear any screaming or anything?
Yeah, sure, I heard some. There is no screaming. You always think you hear screaming, Pee-wee. Well, I heard something, I know that.
Oh, you guys know Mr. Brooks, don't you?
Hi, boys. What have you got over there, a haunted house?
Boy, you're not kidding.
Does it have any special spooks, anybody you know?
No, we don't know. I know who they are.
You do?
Sure, a goofy doctor once had his office there and sold phony medicine and then scrammed. And these are the ghosts of his patients trying to get their money back. That's not true. That's what my pa said. Well, the best way to find out is to spend a night in the house and see. What do you say, guys?
Boy, wouldn't that be something?
Well, I wouldn't go in there. Not at night. Why not? You could take some sleeping bags, flashlights, a couple of baseball bats, just in case.
Eddie, you don't have the nerve to spend a night in there.
Want to bet? I'll go over there right now and knock on the door. Watch.
My stars, Arnie, scare a buddy half to death.
Sorry, Grandma. Hey, Mom, you should have seen old Big Talk Eddie tonight. He was going to knock on the door of the haunted house, and a ghost almost jumped out the window at him. Boy, did he run. Oh, it was neat.
Oh, Arnie, such tales.
It really happened. Mr. Brooks saw it, didn't you?
Yes, sir. Saw the whole thing.
Arnie, you stay away from that place. You boys get to fooling around there, no telling what might happen. There's strange goings-on in that old house.
Oh, it's just an empty house, Mother.
And it's fun.
Sit down, Cameron. I'll get you a hot drink to warm you up after your chilling escapade with the spirit.
Sounds good, Chris. I need it, too. It was a pretty harrowing evening.
We got any cookies, Mom? Or sandwiches? Or pie? I'm hungry.
Yes, sir. Mighty weird goings-on.
I beg your pardon, Mrs. Holtzman?
There were strange things about that house right from the day Ned Stoddard built it.
Stoddard, that's right. The old Stoddard home. I've been trying to place it. Nedrick B. Stoddard, banker.
Some banker. Huh. When his bank closed in 1929, I had $80 in it. Never got one nickel back.
I remember my dad lost a few bucks in that bank, too. After that, when Ned came into the post office, my dad refused to sell him any stamps.
And the worst part of it was, Ned Stoddard was gambling our money away. Every night, wild poker games went on in that house.
Now, Mother, you don't know that was true. Did you ever sit in on any of those games?
Good heavens, no, child.
Well, then how would you know?
Well, they say...
Ah, they say. Who are they?
Well, one thing I do know. That was during Prohibition, and they say that Ned Stoddard had his bathtub full of... You know what?
Yes, I remember that rumor.
Are you going to sit there and encourage her?
Well, this is interesting material.
I know. For the book. Always for the book.
I'm going to bed, Mom. I got some studying to do.
That's a good idea. Good night, son.
Good night, Arnie, and thanks for introducing me to the ghost.
That's okay. Good night.
And you know what happened to Mrs. Stoddard?
Oh, Mother.
They had a spat one night, and she mysteriously vanished.
She did not vanish. She left him and went to Twin Falls, Idaho.
Well, I never was so sure about that. They say it's her ghost that comes back to haunt that house.
Mm-hmm.
One of the boys tonight mentioned a strange doctor that lived there.
Oh, him. A terrible man.
Understand he was some sort of a quack.
The worst kind. They say that he...
Do you want another cookie, Mother?
No, thanks, dear. I have to watch my girlish figure. That so-called doctor...
That girlish figure of yours needs rest, too. Isn't it, about your bedtime?
Oh, yes. Yes, I guess so. It's been a long day. Good night, Mr. Brooks.
Good night, Mrs. Houseman.
You come back again.
I fully intend to.
He called himself Dr. Jeroboam.
Good night, Mother.
Yes. Good night.
Your mother's so wonderful. I really enjoy her.
She gets a little carried away at times, but then so do you. Want your cup refilled?
No, thanks. That was just right.
Well, you don't have to do that.
Yes, I do. I want to be sure I'm invited back. Tell me about this Dr. Cherevo. He sounds intriguing.
Well, he had a wonderful title. He advertised himself as an electrochemotherapeutist.
Pretty impressive.
He claimed he could cure anything. He diagnosed cases with a machine that was part of an old phonograph.
Phonograph?
The patient would take hold of 2 wires, then Jerobo would turn the machine on, lights would flash, the turntable would spin, and where it stopped, that would indicate what ailment the patient had.
How do you know all this?
Well, they say...
They say.
All right, smarty.
Isn't it amazing how one house among all the others on a street would have such a turbulent, outrageous history? Almost as though it were alive. You know, Chris, I've been writing the story of Millsburg in terms of its people. Now I see it can also be written in terms of its buildings.
I could see that coming.
The idea started occurring while I was watching Arnie and his buddies get such a kick out of that old house. When Lloyd Ramsey and I were kids, we had a haunted house, too. It's torn down now, but the dialogue was the same. We made the same big talk about spending a night in the house, but of course never had the nerve to go through with it. That's one boyhood ambition that still intrigues me. What's the matter? Did I say something ridiculous?
Oh, no. I'm just amazed at how you get such a charge out of things. You make commonplace things I see every day suddenly seem more intriguing. Enchanting, even. You do that for me.
Well, that's because you're enchanting to talk to. And silly enough to listen to me. In fact, you're about the only one who does listen to me. Are you hurt? I almost knocked you out there.
I don't mind.
You know, you not only listen to me, but you also make me feel as though I've really come home again.
Do I?
In those last years in New York, when I began thinking about coming back to Millsburg, I felt something special drawing me homeward. I wasn't quite sure what. But perhaps, without knowing you existed, somehow, subconsciously, I knew you'd be here. Do you believe things like that can happen?
No, but it's a nice idea.
Well, now, strange things do happen in this world. Things that have no logical explanation. Well, like the ghost in that house tonight. I've got to find out more about that. It's drawing me like a magnet. There's got to be a good story there to write.
Haunted house? There's some that claim the old started place is full of spooks, all right.
But I don't suppose you believe any of that stuff, Earl?
Me? Nah. It's a lot of rubbish. Why, they even claim the ghosts of Stoddard's old cronies show up there every Saturday night for a poker game. Claim they can even hear the poker chips clink. If there's any ghosts there, it's more than likely old Doc Jarabo's spirit.
Jarabo?
You know, Cameron, darndest thing happened one night. I was walking by that place, and in that upper window, I saw... I ain't sure what, but it looked like old Doc Jarabo. In that white coat he used to wear, waving to me to come on in and buy some more of that phony medicine. I got out of there and nothing flat.
Ghosts in the Stoddard house? Oh, I don't believe in those stories.
I didn't think you would, Meg.
My husband wouldn't let me. You know how Lloyd feels about such things.
Yeah.
But you know, Cameron, an odd thing did happen there once. Oh, not that I believe in spirits or anything.
Oh, of course not.
Well, shortly after Doc Jarabo vanished, our women's club decided to buy the house and fix it up as our headquarters. So a committee of 3 went there to look it over. Well, one of them tripped and sprained her ankle in there. And there didn't seem to be anything for her to trip over. And the second one leaned out an open window and a shutter swung in and broke her glasses. Well, the third one suddenly got hay fever from the dust. And do you know she never had hay fever before in her whole life? Something. Don't ask me what. But something did not want us in that house. Oh.
Isn't that wonderful material? No one admits he believes any of this, but each has his own private legend.
That's amazing, all right. Amazing how grown people, can delude themselves this way. How weak-minded can they get?
Well, that's a fine way to talk about your wife. She's in here, too, you know. Lloyd, I've got a great idea. I'm planning a chapter on this haunted house. And to top it off, I need first-hand, on-the-spot reactions of someone encountering the ghosts face-to-face. So you and I are going to spend the night there.
What? You out of your mind, Cam?
Probably. We could pick up a couple of sleeping bags, flashlights.
Hold it. Don't include me in that.
But Lloyd, don't you remember the haunted house we had when we were kids? How we kept vowing we were going to spend a night there? Well, now let's actually do it.
Oh, Cam. That was fine then. We were kids. I'm a grown man now. A respected newspaper publisher. Can't go around acting like a half-baked adolescent.
But this could be a piece for your paper, too. And who knows? Maybe something will happen there.
I can tell you what would happen. We'd get dusty and dirty and catch cold sleeping in that drafty hovel. And probably get arrested for trespassing.
That might sound pretty fascinating. I can't wait to get there. So long, Lloyd.
Well, Chris, what are you doing here?
Cameron, I'm not going to try to be subtle about this. I'm here to talk you out of this crazy idea.
Chris, you disappoint me. I thought you, of all people, would understand.
Look, you can do all the unusual, nonsensical things you want to, and I love you for it. Because that's part of why you are you, but... Well, I know this will sound silly, but I've had a strange feeling that you shouldn't go in that house.
Oh, no. You're not starting to believe in ghosts.
No, of course not. But today in the office, when you told me you were going there, something seemed to warn me.
Nothing's going to happen. Oh, I'll imagine a lot of things. I'm as big a coward as anyone. But I want this experience for my book.
The book is fine, Cameron, and I'm for it. But right now, the thing I'm worried about is you. Doesn't it ever occur to that thick skull of yours that I care what happens to you?
It not only has occurred to me, it's becoming very important to me. But, Chris, try to understand that I've gone this far. Now I have to go through with it.
Why? You're the stubbornest man I've ever known. There's no use talking to you.
Oh, Chris, wait.
don't go in yet. I just wanted to prove to these guys you're actually going in.
Oh.
Man, you must be the bravest guy in the world. Well, the goofiest.
Here, better take this.
Oh, thanks, Eddie. I don't think I'll need that.
Take it. You'll need it.
Eddie, why don't you go in there with Mr. Brooks? You're so brave.
I would, but I gotta, go home and study. Good luck, Mr. Brooks. Come on, Mr. Brooks. What nerve. Think we'll ever see him again?
Sure we will. I hope.
Figured somebody has to take care of the fools of this world. Looks like it's up to me. Met many ghosts yet? No, but one chopped a hole in the stairs so I'd fall through. But watch out, it's right there. Probably wind up with broken legs. What's the plan? Where do we sleep?
Why, in the forbidden upstairs room with the ghosts. Where else? Might even get there in time for their poker game. Well, one more flight and we've got it made. Oh, darn. Flashlight's shot.
Oh, hi. Gets more stupid every minute.
Hey! Something grabbed my leg.
That was me. I stumbled.
Oh, don't do that again. This is it. No. According to Cannonball Barnett, when you open that door, the ghost of Mrs. Stoddard will fly out.
Oh, sure. Sure it will.
Why'd you duck?
I didn't duck. Come on. Beautiful place to spend a quiet, comfortable night. Well, at least we've got cross ventilation in here.
You know, Lloyd, it sounds crazy, but this house does seem alive somehow. The minute I stepped inside, I felt that the walls had eyes that were watching every move that I...
What's that? Oh. Must be the wind. See that piece of curtain blowing in the window? It's the wind. Frankly, I wish it had been Stoddard's ghost instead of the wind. So this fool trip wouldn't be quite so senseless. Wow. The wind is getting stronger. We're losing the moon, too. Oh, fine. Can't even see to read a ghost story. Come here, Cam. Huh? Look here. Here's the famous Stoddard ghost.
What?
Look. Here's the arm that waves. See? All it takes is a strong enough wind to make Mr. Ghost dance.
And the moon at the right angle. That's why the ghost never appeared with any regularity.
We've solved it, Cam. Well, Mr. Ghost, you're all through. Your days are numbered.
Lloyd, what are you doing?
Doing? I'm putting an end to this spook nonsense once and for all.
And ruin a perfectly good haunted house? Frankly, I'm sorry we found out about this. I wish I'd listened to Chris and never come here.
What are you saying?
Look, Lloyd, don't rob Arnie and his friends of the fun they get out of this house. As a matter of fact, don't destroy the illusion for the adults either. Our prosaic lives can stand a little mystery and nonsense. So don't tear it down.
Cam, there are times I think you're a little off your rocker. And then there are times when I envy you for that very same quality. Old house, we leave you to your ghosts. Your secret's safe with me.
Mix 2 parts poetry and moonlight with 1 part hard-headed realist, and you have Evelyn, the editor's daughter. For her incredible story, please join me for another look at Millsburg through my window on Main Street. And remember, continuing research by Tony means finer beauty products for you. Good night.